Second thing I'd like to bring up, I don't know how much time I have left, is I have a study that was completed. Which includes 218 Massachusetts districts and the 36 Rhode Island public school districts for a total of 254, which compares RICAS, I think that's how you say it, RICAS, and MCAS scores for Massachusetts, as well as SAT scores for both. And what it does, it combines all those scores into an aggregate number, and that's the district score. Then it compares all the Rhode Island schools to themselves, all the Mass schools to themselves, and then where every school stands relative to the 254. And I would just like to shed a little light on what this data showed. 2019, Westerly was, well, very consistent between 2019 and 2020 in terms of its performance within Rhode Island. 19th out of 36th, which is below average. Out of 254 districts, which are comprised of all Mass and Rhode Island schools, Westerly was 214th out of 254 in 2019. That means we were in the bottom 16% of performers. 84 districts in Mass and Rhode Island did better than we did. One would think with the exemplary leadership that we have, as well as the wonderful racialized and radicalized curriculum changes that we've put in, all the DEI teacher instruction, that Westerly would certainly be among the top districts, at least in Rhode Island. So we look at 2020 and 2021, Westerly again is 19th. But instead of 214, we are now 232nd out of 254, meaning that we are in the bottom 9%, and that 91% of the districts in Rhode Island and Massachusetts perform better than us. We beat the likes of Providence and Central Falls and Woonsocket, but we weren't even in the same ballpark as SK, North Kingstown, Portsmouth, Chiaradio, and others. And I don't blame our teachers for that. Not one bit do I blame our teachers. I blame the leadership of this district. Robert Chiaradio again. I want to just address some of the remarks from earlier that were made by some here in the room. Twice tonight, there were veiled threats of not removing open forum, and not real threats, but just saying that we should be thankful that we have an open forum. I don't think that's something that we need to be appreciative of, because you are our elected officials, and we deserve as citizens and taxpayers the right to address you. I understand that it is not mandated that there be an open forum, but I don't think that we owe you a thank you for giving us one. Also, it's funny, it's very troubling to me when fact-based information is presented and a principal or other leader sees it as taking a shot. Very disappointing. Thirdly, regarding the books, apparently at least one of you did not hear me say last week that I was sympathetic to kids who were going through what some of these transgender kids are going through. And I am. My problem with the books is not that. My problem with the books is that one of them, genderqueer, shows a boy performing oral sex on a man. A girl masturbating. A girl's father having sex with his students when he was a teacher, and with a male babysitter. What don't you get? I don't have a problem with trying to help kids who need help. Mr. Ober, one thing I do agree with you on. Age appropriateness might be a better way to describe it. Maybe more people will get it then than saying pornography. Maybe more people will get it. So I'm going to start referring to it as age appropriate, okay? So I appreciate that. But I'm disappointed that you're not even able to take a stand on something as filthy as those books. Any of you. And incidentally, the process that we're supposed to follow is being followed. We're not supposed to inundate you with the forms. We're supposed to meet with Mike first, Mr. Hoban. And then, if something can't get resolved, then the forms come in. You need to know your own policies here, folks. We're following them. Next, last year, I think Joe said it, you cannot use last year as a baseline because the bar was much lower. That is not a good year to baseline against. 2019 would be the year to baseline against, not last year. The bar is too low now. Next, the chair respectfully did propose that only parents of kids that have kids in the district be allowed to address. Roll tape on that. The solicitor knows what went down because he shut you down. COVID affected all districts, not just Westerly. Our drop, and you know what? All right, it's a newer test. I don't know how long we've had RICAS here. I don't know. But please, other districts have improved. We have not. We have gone down versus Mass. From 214 to 232 out of 254. Shouldn't we be getting better? And I'm not blaming our teachers. I want to make it clear. I wish some more of them were here, but I'm not blaming them. The equity audit that you so covet, apparently, if performed, will be the downfall of this district. Based on results from other audits, many of our good teachers will be out. Providence has lost 150 teachers this year. $150 teachers. And they're being replaced by less than adequate ones that more accurately reflect the makeup that is sought in that district. So be careful what you wish for, because you might get it. Even the school committee will be reduced to merely a rubber stamping authority. Just taking the power away from you means taking the power away from us who elected you. The curriculum, the ELA curriculum that got rammed down your throats by Angelica Infante Green, you didn't have a say in that. You got a choice to approve one of however many, and they were all the same. The people that presented it know. Pretty soon you won't have any decision-making capability at all. All of decision-making power, the goal is to do it at each school. The SIT team says it. Today, one other point on that. If an audit is conducted and the preconceived results are mysteriously supported by such an audit, our wonderful community, as so many of us like to refer it to, will instead conform to Ibram Kendi's statement. The only remedy of past discrimination is present discrimination. The only remedy to present discrimination is future discrimination. I don't want to live in a town like that, and I hope you don't either. Instead of paying for an equity audit, I would suggest that the superintendent and the assistant superintendent take that money, between $70,000 and $100,000 on average, and put it in a pot and give it to our highest performing teachers. Those that have really earned it should get it. Throw their bonuses in there too while you're at it, if they get one, to the people that earned it. Today, I, as well as some of my colleagues, testified. I did it remotely via email at a House hearing at the State House. Some of my colleagues were there, others on the phone. I did it via email because I was away. There was a bill introduced in the House, House Bill 7166, which in effect, for our 6th graders through 12th graders, they would get sex education on all races and genders. I don't know what race and gender has to do with it, but the bill was held for further study. But the worst part of the group of the bill is that it would teach kids in 6th grade. Nice. About pleasure-based sexual experiences. 6th graders. Thankfully, it looks like this bill will be held for further study, so hopefully it's dead. The schools are overstepping their bounds severely. Why in the world would anybody propose education on pleasure-based sexual experiences for a 12-year-old kid? I can see teaching things about reproductive sex. Of course, that makes sense. But I don't want anybody teaching our kids about pleasurable sex when they're 12 years old.
Excuse me, that's 10 minutes. Thank you. Mr. Logan, did you want to speak?